Hello guys, welcome again to the channel. Today I want to share with you some information I found interesting. There is really so much happening that is no longer possible to do individual videos. Here is what I wanted to share with you. This particularly troubling um, news says that NATO is offering protection or is promising Sweden protection before membership. Um, so, what this means is that after they do the application to join NATO, they will give informal protection, military protection, that's what they mean, to Sweden. No, so and this comes from the United States and the UK. So what they are doing is kind of encouraging the membership, the application of Sweden, and this applies to both Sweden and Finland. Probably they are just mentioning it in this article, and what kind of how to say support they are doing. So what they are doing is they are doing this statement here. In practice, Sweden will be treated as a full-fledged NATO member shortly after a declaration of interest. And how are they going to do that? They are going to do some military exercises, and they are probably going to put some troops. So that's what they're saying here. They're going to station troops in Sweden, hosting military exercises, and offering political support. And this already started. Let me show you here. So here it goes. Finland welcomes NATO warships for drill. So this is part of this support that I was mentioning. Now this is already a reality, and this application is supposed to be happening on May, as far as the latest information. So this is just like what they're doing. They're joining Latvia, Estonia, and the Netherlands, and they're going to do naval exercises together with Finland. So that's what this is, more provocation for war. Um, and this kind of supports my point that I made before, that in my opinion military alliances don't provide any deterrence. In reality they do more provocation, and this can be seen historically all over the world where there are military alliances. They're used as show of force, and they are um, usually escalating tensions. They have never been proven to show any kind of deterrence. If anything, they provoke, they escalate, they do more tension. So this is not going to bring war, peace. I mean, peace doesn't come from escalating. No, they have this stupid policy that they say that they are going to de-escalate by escalating. So yes, that is definitely not very good. And in some other things related to NATO, this one caught my attention as well. This comes from the Ukrainian parliament, and they say that they insist of becoming part of NATO, part of the future. So what they say is this concrete thing. This is they are saying that the Ukrainian parliament will not vote to remove the passage about the country's ambition to join NATO from the constitution. And then this part is the part that is even more provocative. He went on to say that just because some changes are made, that does not necessarily mean that they have an effect in real life. So what they are saying, in my opinion, is that again they are not de-escalating the situation in Ukraine. This is one of the key things that were discussed in the peace talks, and this was already offered during the negotiations, and then they backed down. So this is not only Russia saying it, they are officially declaring that they will continue to pursue NATO membership. So again, escalation, making things more grave than they already are. So nothing good is coming from this. And this is another one that I wanted to mention to you. This is comes from an interview uh, for Trump, former President Donald Trump. He was interviewed by Piers Morgan, and what he was saying is that if he were still in charge of the United States, he will tell Vladimir Putin that he couldn't say the word nuclear ever again. And so, what he's trying to say, if you watch the interview, what he's saying is that he will threaten back. He will create even more problems by escalating, and he will say that the United States has more weapons and that they are better and more powerful, and this is really madness. This is real madness. And probably Donald Trump will be elected again. This will be a result of the Democratic Party having a very weak president. So I'm 99% sure that Donald Trump will be elected again when the occasion comes. All people think he's a good leader, especially in the US, and some people around the world think the same way. So again, is escalation. Nobody wants peace, especially politicians. Why will they want it? That's what we were mentioning in the previous video where we were talking about weapons. This is the reason why they don't want to de-escalate. They want to continue selling more weapons. There are already records broke in the last year for military expenditure around the world. So is this big business. That's what this is about. This is not about democracy in Ukraine. This is not about democracy anywhere in the world, really. Ukraine is just the top of the tip of the iceberg. There are wars in many countries. There are people being killed, and they are just filling their pockets with a lot of money. So that's what this is. And this is also another story I wanted to mention. Is also this one is coming from Ukraine. Take a look at this. Traitors will be executed. This comes from the head of Ukraine's Nikolaev region. Vitaly Kim has revealed a secret force created to eliminate traitors. And this is a photo of this guy. This is the again the governor of the region of Nikolaev, and has warned that citizens cooperating with Russian forces will face extrajudicial execution. So you cannot get any more fascist than that. This is scary, scary, scary stuff. And this has been argued to be already a reality not only in Nikolaev, probably he's just telling it out loud, but there are some stories about this happening in Busha. So there are even some facts on the ground that says that after Russians left, they were rounding up people considering to be supporters or what they call traitors. So yeah, that's definitely something terrible for the people. Now they are killing their own people. They are killing Ukrainians, just suspecting of having some kind of support or sympathy, or maybe because they were speaking Russian language. Yeah, so more of the same, more Nazism, more fascism. This is what Ukraine has become, and it's not going to get any better. Sorry to say it. You know, this is another escalation that is coming. Now this one is coming from the other side of the world, from the Pacific. This one is aimed at China, but it is similarly crafted. This is related to Chinese military alliance between China and the Solomon Island. So they are coming as saying this is the Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison. He seems like an angry guy on that photo, if I may say it. So what they are doing is they don't want a military base. They don't want a Chinese military base in the Solomon Island. They say that will be an unacceptable red line. They say they will retaliate. They don't know. They don't specify how, but they are saying that this is aggressive move. See, so that's what this is. They are not helping the Solomon Island in any way, but as soon as China steps in and offers help, support for the government of the Solomon Island, they suddenly start to pay attention. You know? And like I mentioned once before, China is being surrounded by military bases. No, they are surrounding not only China but Russia. These are the two main targets of every military base on the world. Most of them are around China and Russia. You can look at these. There are some maps that show the location of all these military bases, but here is the hypocrisy of this. They're doing it openly, and you never heard any complaints from China or any complaints from Russia. Uh, until now, they start to see the reality of this as a provocation. But if China is doing something in the same kind of way as they are doing it, then of course China is out of line. China shouldn't do it. That is a red line. We're not going to accept it. We're going to retaliate. So they are revealing their true intentions, because they say, "Oh, our military bases are not threatening China." Then why a military base of China is threatening Australia? This is food for thought, really. And this is another piece of information that I found very, very stupid. So this comes after all kinds of Russian citizens have been banned from performing their art, their sports, any kinds of participations of Russian citizens, regular Russian citizens. They are being banned and forbidden from taking part in any kind of events worldwide. Yes, because they were born Russian. Now there is even a tree, Russian tree. You know, imagine that this tree was banned because a Russian person planted a tree. This tree was planted 198 years ago by the novelist Ivan Turgenev. So this is why this tree is being banned. If you can imagine something more ridiculous, and what they're trying to do is they said clearly they want to isolate Russia from the rest of the world. That's what they're saying. That's what they're doing. So they are boycotting everything. They are here. They mention a little bit of that. They are boycotting Russian vodka. Some cities in the U.S. are cutting ties with their sister cities. And in this case, they disqualified an oak tree, Russian oak tree. I mean, trees don't have a nationality, but they decided to disqualify it nonetheless. So you will think that a tree is not a political thing, but they are making political uh, statements about anything and everything. Is just absolutely ridiculous. And this is something that is coming from the Himalayas, where there is a diplomatic note from the Ukrainian embassy that they are requesting that Russians being banned from the Himalayas. Imagine that, you know. So they are taking it all the way to mountains. Russian climbers, they want to be banned. Imagine that. This is This has never happened, not in my lifetime, and as far as I can see in history, this is the first time ever that this has been done. And this is just propaganda. That's what this really is. It serves no purpose other than isolating Russia. It's an effort to cancel the Russian culture. They're not doing anything for the war effort or for the peace effort. They're just like I was saying, escalating things, and they are causing a negative reaction from people all over the world, not just Russians. When you see this, you start to think that this is ridiculous. And take a look at this guy. He's a gymnast, and he was forbidden to use his own country flag. Because the institution where he was doing, I think, is Federation for International Gymnasts or something. They forbidden Russians and Belarusians from using their anthem and from using their flags. This guy decided to take it a bit too far, and he used the Z symbol on the podium. As you know, there is huge backlash about this Z symbol because it has been used by the Russian military in their vehicles. No? So he was using it as a sign of being a Russian. He cannot use his flag. He decided to use this symbol, and now he's going to have disciplinary action. Imagine that. Imagine being your country's flag being banned. And here is this text that says International Gymnastic Federation has banned the flags and anthems of Russia and Belarus in all its competition in response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And this is an interesting article that mentions the interpretation of a Russian presenter that says what is the explanation of the letter Z, or Z. He says that it's supposed to be seven, actually two number sevens, one upwards and the other one backwards, because it's supposed to represent 77 years since Victory Day, or since 1945. No? So the May 9th is going to be Victory Day, and it's then 77th anniversary since that event, since the end of the Patriotic War. So that's a theory. I cannot attest to the fact. It's just maybe interesting or not. This comes from Kyrgyzstan, where they are banning the Z symbol from being used during Victory Day celebrations on May 9, and it will be considered inciting ethnic hatred. So what is interesting is that there is no ban for using the swastika. There is no ban for using the SS symbol. Ukrainian military is using it and openly. Nobody is complaining about it. So that's just ridiculous in my opinion. But anyway, this is the world where we're living now. Let me know your opinion about all these things. As always, please like the video, share, subscribe to the channel. I hope to see you again soon. Thank you for watching.